Well, hey, James, thanks so much for being here with us. I've been excited to talk to you. I know that you were past the FTMO challenge, you said, in an unconventional way. So first off, congratulations to you for passing the FTMO challenge. That's amazing. And yeah, I'm excited. I know I've seen you comment a bunch in the Facebook group, so we really appreciate you helping other people out. And I know you're doing some testing, some beta testing with us. So
no problem.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about it. I got to, hear the story. How did you first get into trading Forex, and when did that happen?
Oh, wow. So I originally started trading Forex probably about 3 or 4 years ago, but it was via one of those like MLM kind of things.
Yes.
And I got into it, but they really weren't teaching me anything. It was more just trying to get more people into the MLM, not really teaching me how to trade. And so I started dabbling with it on my own. Then I just gave up. I was like, this trading thing is probably not for me, right? So I started doing some other things, e-commerce and, mobile apps and things like that. I think I saw your ad and I saw a couple other ads relating to Forex trading. And I was like, all right, it's the end of the year. Let me try this thing all over. I jumped in and when I saw you guys having the BSI tool, I was like, this is way better than what I've seen before. The way that you guys are teaching how to use the tool. And I figured, well, maybe I can marry this up with some of my old techniques that I was learning from other places and just dabbling around online.
Yeah, I love it. So a couple of things I love about your story is, first off, you went through the pain. You blew accounts, and everyone that I've talked to so far that has passed, they've went through that struggle. Anybody that's successful at Forex trading, I know they've all gone through blowing accounts and just trying to learn what lot size and leverage and all that sort of thing, kind of get familiar with the market and how to measure it. But you're one of the few that, instead of just quitting when you blew an account, you kept piling. Well, I guess you did quit for like a year or so, right? You did initially, and then you came back.
I went to other things, and I was like, okay, what I ended up doing actually at the beginning of last year, I started options trading, and based on just options trading, and I was doing okay with it. But then when I realized that, okay, I can get the leverage on Forex without the time decay on options, I was like, why am I doing this again? So once I started learning really how to trade and, just dealing with just risk management and things like that, and again, coupled with the ads that I saw from you guys and just the tools that you had, I'm like, it was a no-brainer. Let me move over to Forex and apply many of the same techniques that I was learning, that I had learned, apply with the BSI tool, and it worked.
Yeah, I love that, man. So you had blown some accounts, and then you came back around and did a combo platter of stuff that you'd learned previously, and then using our tools as well. And you passed the FTMO 100K challenge. Yep. Was it 100K that you did?
100K, yes.
Okay, gotcha. And talk me through that journey before we get into talking about, kind of what you're doing and what you're looking for. Was it just a straight shot? You passed it, or was there some turbulence along the way, or was it, did it take all 30 days? Did you do it faster than that? What happened?
All right. So I started initially, again, playing with your BSI tool and just trying to get a feel of like, okay, is this thing really going to work? So I started with an FTMO PK challenge and just getting used to the tool and understanding, okay, what signals to take, what signals not to take, which pairs did it actually work well with. That was kind of like my proving ground. When you brought in the whole asymmetrical compounding thing, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can add this to my toolbox. The problem was, I think when I got into the real challenge, although asymmetrical compounding is great, I started to realize it really worked best on certain pairs. And so when I got into the FTMO challenge, it took me almost the entire 30 days because I was almost taking not going to say every trade, but I was taking a lot of trades that I should not have taken. And so what ended up happening, I got in and I was in drawdown probably for the first 2 weeks. And then what would happen, if you saw my curve, and I probably need to post it, but if you saw it, it would be like I'll draw down like $3,000, and then I'll come back up almost to break even, and then I'll draw down again another 2,000, and then I'll come up almost to break even. I was like, okay, this ping pong thing isn't going to work. Let me look at my data. Let me see exactly what's working and what's not working. And I think I posted in the Facebook group when I started pairing the BSI tool with the average daily range of a particular pair. If the tool actually matched up with the average daily range extension, meaning that, if a pair is going to move, say, 20 pips in a day or whatever, and it's already moved 20 pips in one direction, and the BSI tool says, hey, take this sell or take this buy, and it matches up with the ADR, I'll take it. And then from that point on, you can see like my equity curve just going straight up. There was hardly any drawdown at that point. Pairing those two techniques up, at least for me, worked out.
Gotcha. Okay, that's really interesting. I haven't heard anybody else talk about that. So now, were you referring to, you said the ATR of
the average daily range?
The average daily range. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there was this indicator that I found online. I mean, it worked really well with the BSI tool. And so again, if the BSI tool said take a sell and the average daily range was in that range where it says, where the BSR says take that trade, I would take it, and then bam, it was 9 times out of 10 it will work.
Wow, that's awesome. And did you find certain pairs that were working better than others, or what?
Yeah, so usually like the Euro USD work, the Australian USD work, GDP USD. So mainly the main forex pair. USD JPY did work. It's just I didn't like how spiky the JPY pairs were, but when it worked, it actually worked.
Okay, interesting. And so I love that it was a battle, right? You were trying this thing for 30 days and you kind of had equity curve around break even. You had a little drawdown, you can break even, especially with the asymmetric compounding method, you're just looking to win a couple trades in a row and you can have a huge equity spike, right?
Right.
Which is, common. I see a lot of people that are saying, oh, I have a little bit of drawdown, or, I'm in a little bit of hole, and they're just waiting to hit that asymmetric compounding. Then boom, you really break through. So that's really cool. Now, as far as I know, you were pairing the ADR with the BSI, which is interesting. Everyone's got their own philosophy and own strategy about how to use this tool. Now, as far as the bank secret indicator actually goes, were you waiting for it to, be at a key zone? And then were you looking for some sort of candlestick coming out of the zone? Were you trading contra crowd or any of this sort of stuff that we talk about a lot?
Yeah. So, I think you guys updated, about a few weeks ago when you guys posted just focusing on divergence. And so I paired the divergence up with, and it didn't even, I guess from my perspective, it didn't matter if it was contra crowd or with the crowd, it still worked. And so just mainly focus on divergence, focusing on the area where the BSI tool told me to do, and focusing on ADR.
Okay.
So pairing all that up, that's what worked for me.
And were you looking on the 1 hour time frame there?
Yeah, I was looking on the 1 hour. Yep.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, you're waiting for the BSI to show you a key zone or a key area of value. And then you're also waiting for a divergent signal.
Right.
Which, guys, if you're not familiar with this, go inside of Edge Trading Academy. There's a whole training on this. It's really powerful. It's actually a leading indicator. So it's cool in that aspect that it does have some ability to predict the future. And then you tied that up with the ADR, what you're looking for as far as entry.
Yeah. And the only drawback from when you do all three of those is that you don't get a lot of signals.
Right.
You don't get a lot of true signals per se that fit that mode, but the ones that I got,
they were money.
So, yeah.
That makes sense. So you're being a little bit more selective, taking the best ones.
Right. Which is another reason why it took so long toward the end, because what I was not doing, and to be honest, I probably could have passed a lot sooner, because when I was going through that whole up, down in those first couple of weeks, I was scared to use asymmetric compounding after I hit break even and kind of found my flow, because I was worried about, hey, if I lose this big, or I'm going to do, will I actually hurt my account more than it's really helping? But then I look back, and if I look at my trading, if I would have done asymmetric compounding after I put everything together, I would have passed probably within the second or third, probably within the third week.
Yep. Okay. That makes sense. So talk to me. So I think I have an idea of how you're entering. Talk to me a little bit about your money management strategy. I know if you could have gone back in time, you would have done asymmetric compounding, but you didn't do that. So were you using a 1% risk per trade, or were you doing less than that or more? Or?
Yeah, I was doing less than that. So instead of doing 1% a trade, I was doing 0.5%. And so that took a little bit longer as well. I was being real conservative with my trade. Again, I was getting burned because I failed this was back in October, November timeframe. I failed my first 1K challenge. And so I was like, okay, well, let me be more conservative this time. And so all of my trades were like at 5%. So again, that's one of the other reasons why it took a little bit longer being more conservative. But again, if I would have been more aggressive doing the asymmetric compounding, even on the 0.5%, then I would have again passed a whole lot quicker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's smart of you too. Because a lot of people don't really test their system enough, and they don't understand that, hey, every good system, even if it's a good system, it can go through stagnation and it can go through drawdown drawdown. It can go through losing periods. And this is where a lot of people really struggle, especially in a challenge or trading live money, because they haven't seen that in their system. So I think that's great what you did with reducing the risk per trade. So that way, maybe, you're not making as emotional decisions. And I think that's really smart what you did actually there, James.
And then the other thing, when you talk about a risk reward, I did adopt you guys a strategy of a 1-2 instead of a 1-3, it just made me feel good to actually hit a win, and it gave me more confidence in the system. And so that worked out as well.
No, I totally hear you, because in most of our testing that we've done, actually a 1-3 would be more profitable almost always, but we have found that it's difficult to trade psychologically, and you have to factor that into your whole game plan when you're getting out there and you're actually executing. So, right. Okay, good. And were you putting your stop loss below the zone or below the previous candle, or how were you?
Below the zone. So I went back and just kind of tested things and just noticed, okay, if this trade, I noticed that a lot of trades, if you put it below the next lowest candle, but not necessarily below the zone, they would stop out. And so I just said, you know what, I'm going to focus on the trades that are below the zone, again, that meet all my other parameters. And that has worked out pretty well. Okay,
very cool. So what's your advice to somebody that's, that's looking at maybe starting a challenge, or maybe they failed one, or maybe they're, struggling through one? What's your advice from somebody that's past it?
Well, again, I would say stick to your rules. I mean, use a simulator, find your own trading style, go back and utilize take the challenge, take the free challenges, and just use your own trading style, get used to losing a trade and learn from your losses. Learn, okay, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Just do that. And then at the same time, just don't be afraid to try something new. That's what worked for me. It's like, I'm learning from you guys, but I'm taking things from my past. It all worked together. So again, I just want to say is like, just don't give up. Don't give up, because there's definitely a light at the end of this tunnel.
I think you hit it perfectly, because it's the ultimate success formula, right? You try something and you test it, and if it doesn't work, we'll look at what didn't work and learn from it. Try anything else, and if that doesn't work, we'll look at what you learned from it, and if it didn't work, then try anything else, right? And until you figure it out, and eventually you're going to figure it out.
And again, looking at the backtesting tool, just utilize that, and just that really allowed me to figure out my strategy, and actually allowed me to figure out, hey, my strategy is going to be sound. Because even while I was trading, I was using the tool to kind of fine tune. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is working. This is not going to work. This pair is more volatile. This pair doesn't really follow. But this pair, 9 times out of 10, if you actually ran into this situation, it's going to work.
Yep. That's great advice. Doing spending time on the simulator. Cause I mean, with the simulator, the beautiful thing about it is that, you could take trades just like a mimic real trial or real challenge. Right. And you could do a challenge every day. You could do multiple challenges every day where you just, hey, I'm going to try to grow it by 10% and not, do more than 10% drawdown or 5% in a day. Right. And so you could pass it several times just on the simulator, and then you could move it over to the actual trial where you're trading the live market. And then once you've done that, then go ahead and take the live thing, and your confidence will be a lot higher, right?
Right. I was actually going to post something in Facebook. I haven't finished it just yet. I was trying to capture a lot of data relating to the various pairs that work with my strategy. Yeah. And I was just going to post it in the group. I mean, I'm not finished with it because I've only done a few that on the pairs that actually work for me. It was very eye-opening just to see which pairs work with the strategy, which pairs didn't, and just go from there. So I was going to try to share that. I just hadn't had time to do it all yet. Yeah,
I'm sure everyone would love to see that. That'd be really interesting. So, what's your plans now, James, with the challenge? What do you plan on doing with the $100,000 funded account?
All right, so I'm in the process of. So my goal is to get 3 accounts.
Yes.
And so I'm in the process of almost passing the second account, at least the initial challenge. I'm at $108,000.
Oh, wow. Great.
I'm in a couple of trades right now, but I mean, non-farm, I don't know about you, but the last few days have been just like my trades have been pretty stagnant. It's not going anywhere. And so, but anyway, so my goal is to get all three $100,000 accounts continuously, use the asymmetric compounding. I actually trust it now, and just see the sky's the limit.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, thanks so much. And best of luck on getting the third one. Let us know when you pass that second one. I know you're right around the corner.
Yeah, hopefully by tomorrow I have it passed, but we'll see what non-farm payroll does for us.
Yeah, we'll see. It could be an interesting one, huh?
I'm part of me is like, should I? Like, I'm in some trades right now. They're pretty much break even. maybe a slight drawdown. I'm like, should I just let them run overnight, and then when non-farm payroll comes around tomorrow, just close them? You know, if I'm not in profit, I'll probably just end up closing them because I don't want to take that risk.
Yeah, that's probably smart. Yeah. Cool, James. Well, thanks again so much. And we'll talk to you in the Facebook group. All right.
All right. No problem. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.